This Monday Night Football props and NFL Week 14 recap edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
You know, Sean, they say you got to forget about it.
Is that, well, you are the expert. My team got their ass kicked.
See what I did there?
Fuck yeah. Oh, hey, you want to see me throw something? All right, I'll fucking throw something, huh? You happy? All these fucking hey, see the sweet Eagles helmet? Not that sweet when everyone fucking fumbles, huh?
Uh-oh. Sean's trying to break stuff.
No, I almost broke this piece of shit Vizio thing we got from Korea.
There's nothing.
You're holding on to that, Ryan?
There's not much in here you could have hit on the other side, but you nailed the target.
God damn it. Okay. Hey, Jalen Hurts, don't fumble. All right. You didn't do that. You fumbled. AJ Brown, don't fumble. All right. You fumbled. Devonta Smith, don't fumble. All right. You fumbled. Does everyone on the team have to fucking fumble? And then we finally get a defensive touchdown. We don't get one offensive touchdown because we keep fucking fumbling. Get embarrassed against this dog shit Dallas Cowboys team. Not a fun night, Sunday night.
It was good to see Jalen Carter once again crossing the finish line first.
Jalen Carter played well. So Ryan, I get what you're trying to look back in the rear view mirror. But Jalen Carter,
Jalen Carter's
you
cars
can accuse,
don't have a rear view.
Yeah, he does not look back in the rear view mirror when things happen. All right.
Jinx.
Yeah. So Eagles got their ass kicked. I hope you're happy, internet. All my mentions. Oh, is this good? Is this good? Your team played bad. Oh, are you happy? No, I'm not happy. I mean, it is sweet hosting the Sports Gambling Podcast, Ryan. But these fucking dildos that come out of the woodwork to go, these names I haven't seen all season. All of a sudden, you lose 2 games, and it's like, actually, your team isn't good. Yeah, no shit. I watched the same game. I saw us get our ass kicked against the 49ers, and then we got our ass kicked against the Cowboys. I'm moving on to Seattle. That's my recap.
Really?
Well, what do you? Well,
I think
what
people
more
would.
Do you want out of a recap?
I think people would actually be happy to see you miserable.
Why is that?
I feel like there's probably people out there that
I'm
feel
happy
like
when my team wins.
You've been very confident, and you've been spewing your hot fire.
I think they're a good team, or they were until this 2-game stretch. Now they'll have a chance to prove it on these last 4 games.
That is very forward-looking and progressive of you. I like also how you're wearing a basketball shirt.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear some dumbass Eagles shirt right now. I'm pissed off at the team.
I got to be honest. I was shocked to see all the jerseys still in before we started, there were a couple hangers out. I thought maybe there was going to be a real message.
That's your move to clean out the jersey. I'm not completely.
Now you're projecting. I'm representing the people right now.
I'm not completely out on the team, but after these back-to-back games, how can I be optimistic right now? They played horrible. The defense cannot get a stop to save their life. They literally, everyone who tweeted me out the drive charts again. Thank you. I wasn't aware they let up 10 touchdowns in a row. Yeah, the defense. The defensive line is still very good, but everything else behind it is a complete sieve. Penalties, sloppiness. There are issues with the refs, but again, that's not the primary issue. The primary issue is they're just not playing good ball. And the 3 drives they had in the opponent's side of the territory, and all 3 different skill players fumbled. Ultimately, to me, that comes down to coaching. So I'm not afraid to call out my coach, Nick Sirianni. You need to do a better job of preparing this team. Jalen Hurts needs to do a better job of leading this team, and the defense needs to not fucking suck. That is where I stand with the team.
Do you think they need to be carrying footballs around the facility this week?
So Nick Fortune said, Alex said, "Where's the Rocky music?" Yeah, well, Rocky.
Oh no!
Are you familiar with the Rocky franchise? You fucking idiot, Alex. Rocky lost
like
some
7
fights.
of them.
Yeah. Okay. Rocky lost some fights. Rocky didn't win every fight. If you remember Rocky 1, he fucking lost. It's about spirit and it's about passion, and that is not coursing through the veins of the Eagles right now. When it is, I will fire up the music and I'll champion the team. But I got to see it from them right now. They played like dog shit. They did.
If we had a light to represent our lines right now, they're lit up. People are all over space, looking to
bring Serial on. I'll tell him to fuck off. Before we do, shout out to Little C's. When you're yelling at people who listen to your podcast, there's nothing better than some Little Caesars. Love Little Caesars as it's the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, part of your game day. Little Caesars probably the highlight of my NFL Sunday and maybe NFL Thursday, Saturday NFL games. Little Caesars is great. Just a salty pretzel crust. The pretzel crust is the only thing that could cheer me up right now. Or maybe the Photoshop of Ryan as Little Caesar, aka Nero. Love me some Little Caesars. Order it online during our Pizza pregame, 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day Sunday. I mean, they inject cheese into pretzel crust. These people are true innovators, true geniuses, unlike the Eagles and the Eagles coaching staff. So get you some Little Caesars delivery or our in-store pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars pizza.
No, just trying to cheer you up. Seem like you're down.
No, I mean, why would I be up? My team lost. It was shitty. That's what happens. I'm a man of passion, Ryan. When the Eagles win, I'm very excited. When they lose, I'm very angry and pissed off. I would imagine most real fans share my passion. It sucks to lose. It sucks ultimately to lose to the Cowboys, but if I'm trying to be Mr. Brightside here,
it's regular season.
We do have 4 games left. The team is 10-3. We control our own destiny to win the NFC East, and the Cowboys and the 49ers have games that they could lose. So, the number 1 seed destiny is no longer in our hands completely, but I'm optimistic we can finish strong. The team has to go back, find that heart of a champion and pull things together.
Serial, aka a man with many other names. He's here. I'm sure he has some words for you.
What's up, guys?
Happy Sunday, Serial.
What's up, Serial?
Phenomenal Sunday. Kramer really brought me on early to twist that knife in right in the.
Sean asked for it. He said, "Bring him on. He's ready. He's got his basketball shirt on. He's ready to talk about the future."
No, I mean, Serial. Have you planned the parade route yet?
Hey, Sean, how many times did your model have Philly off 0 offensive touchdowns?
That's a valid point.
Again, I'm reworking my model. But yes, I did not think they would lose the game. I'm an optimistic fan that thought they would win the game. Sharp point there, Serial.
The new quarterback has a nice arm.
Who's that?
Oh, I'm making a joke because the punter had a nice downfield pass.
No, the fake punt was a nice play. One of the few highlights for the Eagles in the game. So Serial, you guys are just gonna cruise to the number 1 seed. You already have you got your Super Bowl ring picked out? I assume.
Listen, just because you want to boast about beating a 3rd-string quarterback doesn't mean we will. All right, if we get there, then we will. We will wear that ring proudly.
No,
I'm not going to jump that far, dog. Okay, let's focus on what just happened this week. I know you don't want to. If you don't want to, I mean, I can talk to Kramer. What's up, Kramer? You know what's a good feeling today?
Kramer's a Cowboys fan.
I've seen that. Yeah, he has some good Cowboy takes this week.
I was saddened by the lack of effort by the Eagles as they laid down for the mighty Cowboys. Part of me was hoping it got worse so I could screenshot the side by side of the Giants score in Dallas and the Eagles score in Dallas, and for it to be similar.
No,
I'm just leaning into the fact that again, they're peaking early, Sean. We just that's the angle. We just stick to that regular season team.
All right. Listen, the over 9.5 season wins hit today too, which is a good feeling. And I got the split. I call the 1-1 preseason. Call that one another win for me on that one. But I mean, let's focus on the future, right? Because everyone's saying you guys got the easiest schedule. Kramer, all we need is one, dog. Just win one of those games you got coming up.
Well, I was going to say
that's going to be a problem.
I was going to bring that up. Maybe hoping they got the Giants earlier when things weren't put together.
I mean, Serial. All joking aside, you got to go at Buffalo in cold weather, and then franchise. At Miami Dolphins, and then you got the Lions at home and the Commanders. What would you predict your schedule from here on out?
I already predicted it, dog. It was 12-5.
Ooh.
Okay, so you think you're going to lose two games
next
here?
4 weeks.
Okay,
and then
not that optimistic.
So the Cowboys will be rooting for the Giants. That's an interesting twist. Didn't see that coming. Tommy DeVito, baby.
Yeah, Tommy Cutlets, man, bring it on.
Can we? All right, Serial. I do have a gripe. The Dak Prescott cadence is very annoying. Or the
here we go. Here we go. I mean, God, and then Collinsworth
when you keep losing jerking to that, off. I guess it would be when to come.
Collinsworth just rock. You know, he's one of those guys that he says, "Here we go," and then the team goes. Hey, you got a good offense, you got a good defense, Mike. You got a good team.
This is this year.
You know who knows ball? Aaron Rodgers. Go check him out on Pat McAfee.
Oh, well, what did he say? Something nice about Dak?
Oh yeah. He definitely did. He was basically saying that he's like the best quarterback, which I agree. If you want to see a man in total control of an offense, look no further.
Why is Dak never won more than one playoff game in a season?
Here's the thing, though.
I think that's a fair question.
Because we played the 49ers that actually didn't have their third string quarterback in.
Here's the fun part, Sean. If you surveyed a lot, if you took 1,000 Cowboys fans, and you said before the season, what are you guys most concerned about? 98% say Dak.
Yeah, show me those people, because if you remember, you asked me that question. I said I was about an 8.
And then, yeah, I guess those people are probably on the edge of their seat. Serial's not. So, yeah, I can't say anything. The Cowboys ate Dable's ass for lunch, as Colby would say. So, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Sean talked a lot of shit, and return serve was not good tonight. Not for the Eagles.
Remember talking a ton of shit, but
I mean, you pretty much said my coach was so fat he had a heart attack, and that's why he shouldn't be coaching today, dog. Come on.
Actually, he
is a very skinny, healthy individual.
We were just wondering if the DJ had a sense of humor, suggesting that many men was representative of the weight of Mr.
Yeah,
McCarthy.
and that was Ryan. Honestly, Ryan made the many men joke about Mike McCarthy.
Good joke.
It was a good joke.
You validated it by laughing.
I don't want to steal your joke.
Thank you.
Well, also let's shout out Micah Parsons for doing another history breaker. We just got history makers on this defense right now.
This is a lot of crazy. This is a lot of positive Cowboys talk.
There's a lot of positive Cowboys talk.
He overcame a cold, Sean. He came through.
What kind of cereal are you going to send me, Sean?
Yeah, well, what kind of cereal do you want? I do owe you a prize.
What's your favorite?
What's your
favorite cereal?
You got some Frosty Flakes there.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm you were supposed to send me a bottle of whiskey, to if I won, and then we never really clarified the prize.
Kramer
if you
said
won.
He was going to broker it.
Yeah. So Kramer, I'll leave it up to you to decide what cereal's prize is.
Yeah. We'll sort that out this week. Sounds like a task for the future. Speaking of looking ahead.
All right. Well, Serial, appreciate. Well, you as a human, but not your team.
He's a great fan. Great fan of us.
Great fan of us.
Yeah. Well, at least of Kramer, I can respect someone who's got multiple Super Bowls.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's what you guys share, your multiple Super Bowl trophies.
Yep.
All right, Serial. Well, worst of luck. I hope your team shits the bed, but I hope good fortune to you in your personal life.
All right, enjoy that wild card spot, buddy.
Oh, I love this. This is getting so spicy.
I mean, yeah. All right, whatever. They have more conference losses than us, so that ultimately will be the tiebreaker. Again, I'm getting ahead of ourselves because we have to. We're focused on Seattle, but
Sean, most of these TMZ fans, they don't know the tie-breaking scenarios.
No,
like
but I mean,
we get the memo. It comes in on the fax machine, and we consume it with the newspaper, like proper gentlemen. It's annoying. The Cowboys are good. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
I feel like
We're
we
in
go
the
through
nightmare.
this every season.
No, this is the nightmare. I remember as a little kid and just being like, wow.
They were good last year.
Cowboys sucked. Remember when they really sucked, like 1-15, and then my dad goes, "Be careful. They're gonna pop their head up and be good eventually." And then they were good, and it was a nightmare for years there.
Well, I think
so much so that people all over the country are Cowboys fans.
They're in that Tony Romo era where they very good regular season team, a lot of buzz about their quarterback being MVP. And then just can't get it done in the playoffs.
Both had comically low pain tolerances.
Yeah, Dak's going to be a great announcer. He's going to be one of those guys predicting the plays, saving people from colon cancer. Colon cancer is a serious issue. Shout out to Dak and all the great work he's doing.
Yeah, awesome. He is the shit Sherpa. Would you like to take another call?
Sure.
How do you want to process this?
I've processed it.
I know you have not processed it yet. We need to do more processing. I'm just going to go in order of people sitting here. So we'll bring Easy on because maybe you guys can share.
No, this guy can't talk shit.
Share.
What's up, Easy?
Well, no, man. His team also had an embarrassing loss in the division today.
Yeah, Sean, we're in the same boat tonight.
Well, you guys were 3.5 point road favorites, but
oh wow, you a CLV guy?
Slightly different. But yeah, tough loss for your Lions. Kramer and I were on the Bears. And again,
Jared took down the big boy with Justin Fields, DJ Moore. Let's go.
Jared Goff. Yeah, the island prices continue to creep back up, much like Bitcoin. Everyone thought it was gone, and now it keeps coming back. Where are you at with this Lions team? Because I heard Dan Campbell's press conference. He said he's got to get angry once again. Seems like he was saying he was too easy on the team. Your name is Easy. Easy. What's your take on this Lions team?
So I actually don't think a lot of it was Jared Goff's fault. I mean, did he have a good game? Not by any means, but the fumble wasn't his fault. The center that's not our center fucked up the snap.
Yeah.
A lot of drop passes, a lot of penalties. We not only give him a free play on a 4th down, but then we let the receiver go, straight out fucking by himself. I mean, it was just a lot of dumb shit we beat ourselves today, which is typical Lions. So I shouldn't be surprised, but our defense is looking, it's kind of the same boat as the Eagles right now. Honestly, our defense isn't looking good anymore and our offense is fucking up and making mistakes.
Now you have an interesting schedule rest of the way. You got Broncos at home, at Vikings, at Cowboys, Vikings at home. So all 4 dome games should be decent environments. How do you see this Lions team finishing, Easy?
I think we split. I think we go 2-2. I think we beat the Broncos. We split with the Vikings, and then, I think we beat the Cowboys too. To be honest, I think it's a good letdown spot. So I guess 3-1.
All right. I like the idea of beating the Cowboys. I have this Packers fan that keeps DMing me talking all this shit. Jamie saying crumbling to pieces. He's he talks a ton of shit, and then very funny. Like he's like, I'm predicting a run for the Packers. Like he goes, I can taste it, just like 20-11. And I pointed out 20-11 was when you went 15-1 and lost in the first round. He goes, 2010. That's what I meant. But are you worried about this Packers team? They have a game against the Giants. Everyone's writing the Giants off for dead, but we've seen a bunch of bad teams kind of pop their head up here, like the Giants, and get some wins. What do you think about this Packers Giants Monday night? And are you worried about the Lions potentially losing the division?
No, I think we definitely win the division. The Packers, I think they'll grab the wild card. But I'm not worried about them. If anything, I'm more worried about the Vikings beating us twice and them taking it. But with the way they played today,
they don't have a quarterback.
Vikings have a real quarterback problem. Like Do you got? I'm old enough to remember the Josh Dobbs MVP conversation, which was very short lived. Pasternak looking like the challenger right now.
Whoa.
Shout out to the great heroes who lost their life serving NASA. But easy. I mean, I don't think you have to worry that much about the Vikings till they figure out their quarterback. I mean, Nick Mullins, is he the guy? I think they have a lot of questions right now.
Yeah, I think they stick with Nick Mullins just because I think he's more of what they want as a quarterback. But I'm so confident that we're actually going to finally win the division that I'm saying the Packers don't worry me. If anything, it's the Vikings. But I'm not really worried about either one.
I mean, I will say that this is something that the Lions fans might have with Cowboys fans. Strange confidence.
Yes.
Little worrying. If
I haven't been able to be confident about a football team in my lifetime.
yeah, I know.
Easy.
I
I'm
learned
sure.
my lesson
I'm sure you
this
saw
offseason.
the stat that Detroit homicides are at an all-time lowest since 1960, and that was like the last time the Lions were this good. So
I'm sure it's correlated.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily correlated, but hopefully the homicides stay down there. Any touts for your bets outside of the Lions?
No, I got wrecked today.
Yeah.
I actually did all right.
I got kicked in the dick hard.
I actually did all right game wise. Not amazing props wise, but game wise, I did all right. I mean,
Somehow
the Chiefs and then the Eagles were the only like two flies in the ointment. But other than that, I kind of had a decent weekend, but crushing emotionally, ending it with the Eagles. Easy. Any Monday night picks you want to toss out before we let you go here?
Not anything really worth talking about. I mean, I think the Giants are going to win.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Everyone does. This is terrifying.
Look out, Ryan. Look out. All right. Thanks for calling in, Easy.
I appreciate y'all.
Let it ride. Ryan, friendly reminder, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Oh, I could use someone to talk to right now. And certainly the holiday season's super stressful. You got to worry about your family, the gift giving, this in-law doesn't get along with that in-law. It's, it's very easy to get caught up in that. And honestly, a great gift is, giving the gift of self-care. Yeah. Treat yourself to a nice holiday gift here with BetterHelp. If you're thinking about a therapy, give BetterHelp a try. If you're dealing with a bunch of stress, you're fried, you're at your wit's end. Who can I talk to? Need to blow off some steam. I've certainly been there, and therapy can certainly help. Especially, it's sad, but especially if you lost someone this past year, talking to someone really can make a big difference, especially around the holidays. Those first couple of holidays are super tough. So BetterHelp can really. It can be a real, real lifesaver for folks, and it's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do: fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Very easy, very simple. In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/SGPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BETTER help.com/SGPN. Do we still have more calls, Ryan?
We do.
Oh my God.
You don't want to talk. All right, let's talk to Nua Gira David.
Probably some random Cowboys fan crawling out of the woodwork here to give me grief.
What's up, David? Or maybe it's Marcus at Marcus. Could also be a bot. Very interested to see if there's a voice.
Ryan's worried the AI is taking over our lives. Marcus, you're on the air. Sports Gambling Podcast. What's happening? Marcus. All right, Ryan. He's off the air.
All right.
Ryan's worried about AI stealing our voices.
What do you mean? Our voices have already been.
Yeah. If AI wants to steal our voices, we have literally like 15, almost 2,000 podcast episodes. The AI has our voices if they want them.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna
at least sign up for Patreon AI.
Yeah, I'm sure they can figure that. Can we take down the captcha on the old? All right.
Yeah, if AI wants to sign up for Patreon, give them.
Our new friend David is here, but he's not here. But in the meantime, would you like to talk to Mr. Dick Puncher?
Oh, Dick Puncher, sure. Dick puncher. Man, we got punched in the dick. That Mike Evans touchdown pass. That was an amazing catch by Mike Evans. And then he just put his hand down before the second foot. I think they should have given it to him just because it was such an amazing catch. How are you feeling? How was your Sunday, Dick puncher?
Yeah, I took a few today. I took a few. It was a rough day.
Hey, that's how it goes with the dick punching. You give out some dick punches, you take some. You got balls of steel. What was your worst beat on the Sunday?
I mean, honestly, the Mike Evans thing was that was.
I thought of you when that happened because I go, the dick puncher's got to be sore right now because that was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, at least Tampa Bay did cover. I did have Tampa Bay. I mean, they won outright, so that's good. But that was really the only highlight of the day. I mean, in terms of like, you talk about like throwing guys in a locker. I want to throw the entire Vegas offense in the damn locker. Right, pregame I called in. I said, Max Crosby, right? Max with the double X at the end of his name is going to earn the triple X, having his way with Dobbs, and he did. He had multiple sacks, tackles for loss, right? Held him to, I think it was like 10 for 23. Like 40 something completion percent. And yet I stupidly thought, Aiden O'Connell and his, merry band of fumblers could score literally any points at all. Easy. You're more afraid of the Vikings?
Yeah.
The Vikings, like they scored 3 points. The last week they lost to a team that didn't score a single touchdown. Like, what do you mean you're scared of the Vikings?
Well, and Ryan and I, we were out in Vegas.
Like he got under Dick Puncher's skin with that comment.
I like a little caller on caller crime. Always enjoy that. Now we were out there in Vegas Friday night, littered, swamped with Vikings fans.
Oh.
Hopefully those Vikings fans got 2.5, but I'm sure there's some Vikings fans that maybe got it at 3. And so then when the Vikings line up for that meaningless field goal to end the game to cover the spread, and it's a stadium in Vegas full of Vikings fans, and then instead they pull this bullshit punt, which almost backfired because the guy caught it, was like kind of had some blockers. Annoying punt. I mean, we picked it at 3. If you were betting the Vikings, hopefully you got that -2.5 that was there late. But man, just brutal. Ugliest game, and I did not see that coming. I had Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson in the DFS lineup because I thought, like, all right, these teams are teams that have some holes defensively. Like, Vikings will blitz. They might get to Aiden O'Connell, but then there might be some garbage stuff, or Devontae Adams will certainly get his. But it was ugly game. I mean, they were close to going 0-0 into OT.
Yeah, no, definitely. And luckily, I had the Raiders at +3, so that was okay.
So you at least got
I at least got the it all canceled out. But like, I don't know, it was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I also do want to express my condolences, Sean. Rough game tonight. Obviously,
yes.
Packers have seen some rough games. I know how that is.
Hey, sometimes your team gets its ass kicked. It is what it is. Do you have any? I mean, your team plays tomorrow night, aka tonight, depending on when you listen to this. What do you got any prop bets you want to give out here for the Monday night game?
So as of now, all I've got are Packers, and I've got Jordan Love over 1.5 touchdown at +100, and I will be in attendance at MetLife tomorrow night. In a foam, cheese top hat with the jersey.
Please,
I don't have a Love one yet, so it's gonna be a Rodgers one, but
Please tweet in a photo of you in the cheese head from MetLife Stadium at Gambling Podcast.
Will there be more Jets Aaron Rodgers jerseys in the house, or
that's
Packers Aaron Rodgers?
That is, I'll give a report.
Yes, please check back in with us because I'll be good luck. I get, and actually no, worst of luck. I just looked at the playoff race. Giants are back in this, Sean. They're 2 back of the wild card, and they play some of the teams that they're essentially in the running with. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, Dick Puncher. Enjoy the game, and tweet us.
Stay
a photo.
warm.
All right, will do.
All right, let it ride, man.
Guys.
Let it ride. All right. Should we get to these games, Ryan?
Yeah, we can get to the games. I felt like I got punched in the dick today.
Well, we'll get to that. I'm assuming you're talking about the Chiefs game.
Just a macro comment.
Cleveland Browns 21, Jags 17. This was a nice break for us as gamblers who had the. I mean, we picked this on the on the show, Ryan. It was Wednesday night. Little did we know Trevor Lawrence would be playing. The line was Browns -3.5. Doug P gets that, and the Jags get that late touchdown. They decide, thankfully, to go for 2. Don't get it. And Joe Flacco has been announced a starter for the rest of the season. I mean, Browns played really well, and I thought. I mean, there were very few moments where I thought Trevor Lawrence was dealing with a bad ankle. So
he looked good.
Fortunate to get the cover here and the win. I thought the Browns defense overall played pretty well. I mean, I know they let up 27, but when they got up 10 points. I was saying to Decker, we were watching the game, and I'm like, oh man, this back door is gonna be open. They're gonna get the backdoor cover, and then they miraculously go for 2. So shout out to Doug P. Not getting the 2-point conversion, helping out all these guys who back Cleveland.
This ain't Deshaun Watson's Browns team. Flacco don't mess with no backdoor. No, he closed that shit.
Now Flacco's interesting because he'll look really good for like a decent period of time, and then there'll be like 5 or 6 throws where you're like, my God, how is this guy a quarterback?
You know what it is with this team? He makes the open. He can get it to the wide open guy. You can't say that about PJ Walker, DTR, or Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And he probably is making the correct. What we don't know is he probably is making more correct reads, which is why we're seeing these awesome, like wide the fuck open guys.
Well, and he'll also try the deep shot. I feel like DTR and PJ Walker, not only weren't they able to connect, like, and some of them work, some of them don't, but at least it gets the secondary. Like the secondary has to be honest with the receivers and tight ends. And Njoku had a crazy game. I mean, you saw the play action. Like they were playing the run so hard that when they ran play action, like Njoku and these other guys were wide open.
Yeah, it was just way too easy for them to get that. I mean, and now, I mean, going into the weekend, it's like, all right, Trevor Lawrence is banged up. They have a chance of losing here. They're dogs, and okay, we're gonna bet on someone else in the division. But now they're sitting back, kind of where they started, and I don't understand how Trevor Lawrence is okay unless someone's lying to us about the severity of the injury.
He looked fine. Rams 31, Ravens 37. Probably game of the night or game of the day, honestly. Very good game, very back and forth. Like the Rams came out, played their ass off, were a live dog throughout the entire game, went into overtime 31-31. Both teams had a possession, didn't do anything. Then Rams punted. Ravens ended the game by taking it to the house, didn't cover the spread, but I mean, I thought the Rams like played probably their best game, still lost. Ravens, I don't even know how to grade this Ravens game because in some ways,
this is every game.
Lamar looked really kind of like, what are you doing there? Some turnovers that were like, man, what's going on? But then, hit some wide open deep shots. Ravens were all over the place. I thought on both sides of the ball. Like I like this Ravens team. I don't know how to grade them moving forward, honestly.
They're gonna win the 1 seed in the AFC.
They could. Yeah, they could. They won this game.
What do you mean they could? I mean, they play the Dolphins.
Yeah.
The Chiefs lost today. It comes down to the Dolphin. It's going to come down to most likely sure, let's include the Jags, I guess, but Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins. That's I guess Browns you can throw in there too. Ravens have an edge on all these, and like I said, they play the Dolphins. So, and it's week 17. Correlation week for fantasy nerds. I think you just have to eat the fact that even when you watch them with your eyes, it does not look like they have the best defense in the league. And when you watch them with your eyes, they do not look like they have a dominant offense. And yet here we are at the end of another game where this is the first game all year, I believe, where they did not possess a 75% win probability in the fourth quarter. That's mind boggling. They should have a better record They keep making these mistakes. They're still 10-3 in spite of it.
It's a tough team to trust in the playoffs.
It's a little bit Josh Allen and the Bills, right?
Yeah.
In a different shade. But what I would say is that the numbers like their defense more than it seems.
Number one DVOA coming into this game.
Well, and coming into this game, they dominated teams who ran a lot of 11 personnel, which the Rams do, and the Rams came out and just punched him in the mouth.
And then of course Hunter Long, who is a second string tight end, gets carted off, and then meanwhile their third string tight end Davis Allen has the touchdown, bunch of receiving yards. So that was kind of annoying prop wise, but say la vie. Chicago Bears 28, Detroit Lions 13. Ryan, I forget if I said this. Maybe this was like walking back from our flight, and I was like, that Ragnow injury for the Lions. In my head, I was like, I wish I had, and I had some action on the Bears. I wish I had more, because I think that losing him on the offensive line really big. Justin Fields, again, a guy who like had some moments, ran the ball, put up some good fantasy numbers, but has a bunch of throws where you're still like, my God, man, what are you doing? And this Bears defense has gotten good ever since they traded for Montez Sweat.
Jokes on everyone else. They're still going to have a high pick with the Panthers, and they're just starting to play good ball. I would say it does. When I watch this team more and more, I'm actually starting to side with Justin Fields and the idea that the coaches are just there's something missing with the coaching creativeness.
Yeah,
because he's definitely able to do stuff, and I feel like if he was with the right coach, he would like. I have no doubt Justin Fields would work with Andy Reid. He would find a way to make that.
Well,
work.
I do feel like a lot of quarterbacks would be better with Andy Reid. I think that's kind of like the outlier situation.
It's a cheat code.
But I'm
like
with you.
Teasing a 2.5 point top.
I'm with you. There is a lot of stuff he does right and throws he makes. Watching it, and Justin Decker, we were having similar thoughts of like he's too nonchalant in the pocket. Like his urgency in the pocket, the timing is just off.
It's because think about it. You ever watch someone who's intoxicated walk into like a restaurant that has a menu up on a board and they kind of sit and stare at it slowly? That's his processing.
Yeah,
he's not the fastest processor. So by telling him constantly not to run and just focus on processing, you've broken this man. Because now when they drop back and part the sea for him, he's sitting there like an idiot staring down the field. All of that being said, good win, I guess.
Nice win.
More of a bad loss for the Lions in my book. And Sean, if you were to if we talked about this game at halftime, we would have said, oh yeah, another one of those. Bears started fast and then they just completely started.
Well, that's the other thing. I did keep waiting for the Bears to collapse. That was definitely
the difference just was they didn't give the ball away in a bad time. They converted on their drives. They scored touchdowns. I mean, to me, the whole game was summed up when the Bears, not the smarter, like efficient, like awesome franchise that everyone loves this year, they line up on a 4th down to try to get 5 yards. And not only do they snap the ball, they get the guy to jump off sides, and Justin Fields takes the deep shot to DJ Moore for a touchdown.
So
that's not something that happens to the Bears team 7 weeks ago.
No, and I know it's easy. You clown on him not being good on the whiteboard, but that was like a high intelligence play.
So I would actually go the other way. It's the opposite. I think the plan was to draw them off, and if he bit, take the deep shot. And if he doesn't bite, take the deep shot. So it might have just been the first read. That's more likely the scenario to me. I like than Justin Fields having some super Peyton Manning moment.
Saints 28, Carolina Panthers 6. My plan of just locking up whoever's playing the Panthers comes through.
Awesome plan.
And the Saints really did not look good. Derek Carr, you're just watching him, and I just kept going like, why is this guy in this game? It's one of the uglier 22-point victories, but then on the other side, like anytime Carolina had something going, they always found a way to fuck it up. It's insane how bad the Panthers are.
So we know Jameis has done some things that may rub people the wrong way, but has he kneeled for the flag or something? Why is he not playing?
I don't know. Carr looked banged up. And their defense played well, but again, it was the Panthers.
You can't Carr. All right. So if the answer is like, well, Carr, he's real. It's just that nice floor. He brings a real conservative approach. We know we're gonna get. He's making the bad plays. He's making the Jameis Winston plays. Just put Jameis out there. At least Jameis is gonna throw it down the field.
He's making the Jameis Winston mistakes without the Jameis Winston like awesome, like wow. And he did hit one deep shot to A.T. Perry, who, my DJ and parlay stuff was tied to him on some deep touchdown stuff. But unfortunately, he overthrew him a little bit. Like if he hits him in stride, A.T. Perry walks into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean,
just Saints very, very ugly win, and shame on us. Like when Taysom Hill was out, Ryan, make a note that we always got to play Jimmy Graham touchdown because he becomes the next guy. How is that guy still catching touchdowns? I don't know, but when he caught that touchdown, I was like, God, why were we not on Jimmy Graham?
I know we're making fun of Derek Carr. They easily won the game, but how do you rush this guy back from a concussion for that?
It was bad.
So Bryce Young, we put him down. I mean, he's not going to be a good quarterback, right?
It's tough because I feel like
can't make any throw.
Even guys who struggled their rookie year, there were at least moments where bright spots, right? Like even in garbage time, like they're up 22 points. You should be able to get a drive down the field going.
It feels a little bit like Zach Wilson, where it very quickly was like, oh.
We'll get to Zach Wilson because I thought he looked good today.
Well, no, I think now, like with the mentorship and and Aaron Rodgers there to help show him how to be a great quarterback, maybe he'll start learning how to be a great quarterback. We also need to make sure we look in our notebook and said, "Don't get fooled by Zach Wilson again."
I didn't, but also I guess I got fooled by CJ Stroud. Tampa Bay Bucks 29, Atlanta Falcons 25. Great win here for my Bucks. Baker Mayfield driving them down the length of the field. That was an awesome win for Tampa Bay. It really was.
I mean, huge in the division.
Yeah.
Not crippling, but close to crippling for my Falcons over 8.5 future. I got a plus 325 also for the division. So not a great result for that either. Not completely dead, but Sean, we're dealing with a situation where kind of think we're going to see an 8-9 team come out of this division, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's certainly,
we had a God's eye, a TV 7 and 8. If you've ever been in the house, but basically the two small TVs to the right were on the NFC South games today. And it was just calamity of error stacked with calamity of error. This whole division should be canceled. Can we start the argument right now?
And AJ Terrell, who we thought, this is why it's insane now. We always, since we did the show in 2011, we've been taping the show Wednesday night because the Wednesday night practice report gave you at least a pretty good sense injury wise, Ryan. And feel free to hop in, but I feel like this year has been the craziest year for stuff that like, okay, he's in the concussion protocol. He didn't practice today. I'm not thinking he's going to practice. And you factor that into your handicap. I feel like I've gotten burned a million times. AJ Terrell was out there and played really well against Mike Evans. Mike Evans basically got shut out. He had one catch.
Seemed like the first 8 or 9 weeks, concussion protocol,
hard stop. You're definitely missing at least a week.
Something changed this year. And it just seemed like guys weren't coming. Maybe it was the Tua rule. There's some sort of Tua effect on the concussion.
For what? For like 10 weeks, and then they took it off.
Whatever the independent, whatever the union of independent neurologists that somehow are all contracted by the NFL. However, they come up with their rules that seem to have changed, and it seemed to be more difficult to get through the protocol. AKA, no one had gotten through the protocol in the same week, I believe, up until a couple weeks ago, and now all of a sudden we're getting these expedited
reviews,
and it makes me wonder, Sean. We all know we all understand a little bit of physics, and we understand that a tire pressure in a hot tire is going to be higher than that same tire would be at a colder temperature. Could it be because we're later in the season? They've lowered the threshold for the concussion protocol.
Something's changed.
100% something's changed. And I think we're just going to have to expect in games that are where teams are in the playoff hunt, which is basically everyone, because there's 7 playoff teams in each conference. You're going to see expedited activity because the NFL is realizing time to put the good people on the field.
Yeah, we need all the help we can get. All right, next up we got the Ryan. Who are we blaming? Are you out on Desmond Ritter at least?
No. He had a couple mistakes. I'd say he probably should have had 2 or 3 more interceptions.
No, that's the other thing. He got lucky. There was a number of drop picks.
But this team was moving the ball up and down the field. I certainly am not out on the Falcons. I got these futures. I probably don't need to invest in the games anymore at this point because I have so much on the win total at 8.5. So I need him to go. Yeah,
great sweat.
It's not looking good. And I also have the division plus 325. So I'll just be watching closely. I do think I took a embarrassingly small piece of the Bucks just because I didn't want to watch you celebrate and not have any sort of a piece of that kitty. So yeah, basically fading the Saints and fading the Panthers was in the portfolio this year. So hopefully it comes. And Sean, what I do have, and I meant to, I have the exacta. So Bucks Falcons exacta. I'll have to look up the price. So I have plenty of stuff to root for at this point. It seems like I said this halfway through the game that I was back out on the Falcons, and then I was like, I'm back in. There's some fun stuff there in the second half. It does seem like a better coach might be able to unlock the pieces better.
Whoa, Ryan. Arthur Smith is amazing.
I'm willing to, if I can change and you can change, we can all change. I'm wondering if maybe you don't want a coach that's in the mustache lifestyle.
Hey, have you signed up with Underdog Fantasy? If not, what are you waiting for? 100% deposit match up to $100. They got their playoff best ball. You can start drafting already. Which is very fun because we don't know who's going to be in the playoffs. There's a lot of strategy around drafting like teams that are on the edge. How hard do you go on those? Ryan, we got to do an episode dedicated to that because it's very fun. And then of course the pick'em, NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, bowl game, college football. Are you kidding me? Love the higher lower fantasy pick'em over at Underdog Fantasy, and of course use that promo code SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN.
Yeah, maybe that's how we help wash the stink off. We do a bonus episode Monday at some point, maybe Tuesday. Bang out a draft. By the way, do you want an update on me in Best Ball Mania?
Sure.
We can save it.
Okay, we'll save it. Bengals 34.
It's not bad.
Colts 14. Jake Browning and my boys. Tanner Hudson got the touchdown, didn't get the receiving yards. That was annoying. But this Bengals team looks good, man. They could be a little frisky in the I don't know, maybe in the playoffs, depending on who they match up against. Gardner Minshew finally hit his wall there. Any thoughts on this game, Ryan?
Everyone lost in the division for the South. The Titans haven't played yet. Not much. No, I don't. I don't know what to think about this fucking Colts team. They went.
I have no handle on this team. I
Bengals
really don't know.
have not been playing great defense.
No,
so, sure, their offense. They have some weapons. They're able to scheme up a nice game. Maybe we should have thought about that. They were.
No, I thought I was on the Bengals.
Fair.
So we just to be clear, we as collective Colts pickers.
Sure. Bengals are the team that if they make the playoffs, it's going to be a problem.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
No. Like they're gonna.
Oh, they're gonna get destroyed.
They're gonna do. Yeah. Right. Like that's the random wild.
Well,
card.
I think at home they're kind of an interesting animal.
That's the thing. They're not going to be at home.
Yeah. They have to be on the road.
And right now they're 4th place in their division.
Houston Texans 6, New York Jets 30. Well, that ends the CJ Stroud MVP case. He got knocked out of the game with a concussion, which normally you would think he's going to miss a game, but who knows at this point.
Does he have the Rookie of the Year locked up?
Yeah, 100%.
If he didn't play another game, he gets it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless Bryce Young did something crazy. That was a joke.
No, so I was laughing.
I know. I was letting the audience know just in case.
Jets played good defense and just enough offense. It's so annoying, this Jets team, because like, why couldn't you do this against the Falcons? Right. I guess because you didn't have Zach Wilson.
This was a great fuck you moment for Robert Saleh. Oh, you You want someone else, motherfuckers? You want someone? Why are you still starting Zach Wilson? Because these other guys suck.
And Zach Wilson played a pretty good game, man. Like some really good ball placement, some moments where he reads the field well.
Got away with a couple bad ideas.
Yeah, but Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, I would say, I know people have written them off completely and saying they're busts. Maybe Zach Wilson more so than Justin Fields, but I still think there's some QB left in them. Like I still want to see a little bit more out of both those guys.
Yeah, there is something to the idea that they are both in like pressure cooker situations, being in Chicago and New York. It would be interesting to see what happens if one of them, like, second chance, follow. You know, maybe it's, give me a good like San Diego or LA, the Chargers.
Yeah,
no one cares. Like you got less leverage. You're following.
Decker would be buying your jersey, balling.
Oh man, nothing would be your fault.
No.
And a lot of Cougars out in Southern California.
Yeah, I don't know. Jets, are they still in the playoff mix?
There's just a number of these teams where just like the Browns, like they're gonna look a lot better at home, especially with a tiny bit of weather. Houston lost everything in this game too, so Houston's just going to crater. Nico Collins will be out for a bit. Tank Dell's already out.
Yeah, I mean the skill guys around him have just fallen apart.
Clearly, those receivers were part of the reason this was working. Noah Brown not working as a number one. Yeah, I think you can almost cross Houston off. I don't want to be too aggressive here, but
Jets are technically the 14th seed, so they would probably need to win out and get some help here at 9-8. And you got teams like the Bills, Bengals, Broncos, Texans ahead of them.
So the Jets,
like their scenario to get in is insane.
Yeah, and here's the problem: they still play the Patriots, so Belichick's going to try really hard in that one. They still have to go to Cleveland, which there's 0% chance.
Oh,
that's the game and they still have a game in Miami against the Dolphins, so they have 3 losable games. They're on to the draft, but this was a nice win for Zach Wilson. Very proud of it. Felt good about that. Felt good that he looked good.
49ers 28, Seattle 12. Drew Lock. When we picked this, Geno Smith groin was intact. They did cover the. What was the score? Let me double check that.
It was 28 to 16.
Okay, yeah, I wrote down 12, 28-16. Because I was like, they did cover the closing number, which was 13.5. Seattle kind of hung around. Drew Lock made a couple of nice throws.
Closing number guy now?
No. I'm just saying, if you bet Seattle before kickoff, you got to win. If you bet it early on in the week when you thought Geno was playing, you got a loss here.
And when we broke this down on VSiN Friday night, it was very much like a 3-point move. We kind of debated a little bit. You weren't so certain. I thought for sure it meant Geno wasn't going to play, and they kind of balked at a game time decision. It seemed like now
I was optimistic he would still play.
Well, now in hindsight, it seemed like they knew the whole time that it was going to be Drew Lock. What's your take on Drew Lock?
He's fine. I mean, again, you're going up against the 49ers defense in San Francisco. He made a couple of real nice throws. He had like one bad pick.
I thought
it was just Seattle's defense couldn't slow down San Francisco. Deebo had another massive game.
Yeah, I didn't find like they didn't lose this game because of Drew Lock, but he played a Drew Lock game. And since the Giants got a second rounder from the Seahawks, they haven't won a game, so that's cool. I got one eye.
Vikings 3, Raiders 0. Man, no takeaways here. This was an ugly game.
I said nice things about Antonio Pierce, the coach. That's what this is about.
He even got the troops around, yelled at them going into the fourth quarter. Raiders just don't have a lot of talent. Aiden O'Connell, rookie quarterback. I mean, what are you going to do?
A lot of teams need a quarterback. Any chance we get Cam Newton out here? Joe Flacco looks good.
I'll say a hard no.
Who's the other guy coming off the couch? Tom Brady? Tom Brady's got to be. I mean, he's looking at these guys. He's like, "Fuck you."
Philip Rivers was at that Chargers game, looking like he still had some throws in him.
Some of these guys got to be able to still throw the ball.
Remember that plan that the 49ers, if they would have beaten the Eagles, they were going to sign Philip Rivers. Decker's so excited.
Just thinking about Decker jerking off to the idea of Philip Rivers
know
playing in a Super Bowl for a different team. Just truly unbelievable.
Speaking of the Chargers, Broncos roll 24-7.
My God,
they were
Sean.
in control of the game the entire time, and then you lose Justin Herbert. It wasn't going to happen. Broncos offense was just good enough, but this Chargers team is how Brandon Staley has a job. I have no idea.
I know, and it's the only thing preventing us from just easy cashing our Raiders 4th place in the division bet from the preseason. This is Broncos are in the fucking playoffs, Sean.
Yeah,
like this is insane. Russ is back. Are you back in on Russ yet?
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton, another touchdown. Cortland Sutton is better than Mike Evans at being Mike Evans. He scores a touchdown every week.
It's crazy. Yeah. We got to get Dick Puncher on the Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown. Denver is very good at beating certain kinds of teams.
Bad ones.
Well, bad middle teams.
Bad.
Well, I don't know. Like I think if Denver goes up in class, but then also like
They beat the Bills and the Chiefs.
That's the other thing. Like who is the top of the class in the AFC that the Broncos have no chance of?
Randomly.
But so Broncos Ravens. The Broncos have a shot.
Yeah, but they would have a hard time with that run attack.
So you're right. If you're talking about the Broncos going into Baltimore,
it's randomly like probably the best matchup for the Ravens to get in the.
But
playoffs.
I think also I think Broncos are 7-point dogs. I think Lamar might turn the ball over a couple times, and I talk myself into a Broncos.
Russ knows how to play the underdog role in the playoffs.
Pastor Russ is something.
We're pulling out old pictures of Russ from back in the early 2010s when he was sexy.
Buffalo Bills 20, Chiefs 17. Chiefs, and we'll see. The league office may give them a win because apparently some of the refs were mean.
It's unfair.
To the Chiefs.
It's unfair.
I was on the Chiefs. You were on the Chiefs. We had
usually when we're breaking the rules, the league and the refs give us a warning first. What is this fucking kindergarten?
It was so. In some ways,
one more and you go into timeout, Tommy.
This is funny because so this year they started calling offensive offsides a lot, and the reason they did was as a way to stop the tush push. They've called it on the Eagles a bunch. They've called it like 4 or 5 times on the Eagles. They've only called it 12 times this season. You look at how many times they called it previously. Like last year was like 1 or 2 times. Patrick Mahomes said he's been in the league for 7 years. It's never been called against them. So I agree with the idea that they have never called it and they just started calling it. I also think they shouldn't call it like a guy lining up a half inch here or there on the offensive side of the ball doesn't impact the play, and you should just give him a warning or whatever. Like the tackle lining up a half inch deeper, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. To me, it's not a competitive advantage, especially a receiver lining up in the neutral zone. That being said, he was clearly offside, so you really can't bitch about it. Like even in his, they don't really call that. You know what they don't normally call a lot? Defensive pass interference, especially in big game spots. They don't call defensive holding a lot in big game spots. In fact, I remember a big game, aka the Super Bowl. They didn't call defensive holding the entire game. Was there defensive holding before James Bradbury committed that holding? Yeah, there was, certainly. Did they not call it? No, they didn't call it. Now, did they call it in this big spot that could have impacted the game? Yeah, they did. Did we suck it up and deal with it? Yes. Did Patrick Mahomes go in front of the press conference and say, hey, in most spots that you normally don't call defensive holding on James Bradbury, and that really changed the game? I don't recall that, Ryan.
It's a stupid penalty. Here's the problem.
It's a stupid penalty. And they should the other penalty that they shouldn't call as much is illegal man downfield. Like, yeah, if the guy's like 5 yards downfield and like blocking a safety randomly, sure. But if he's like a yard down or like so many times the guy's like blocking a guy and like whiffs and then finds himself like 3 yards downfield, it's like, what are we doing? No fans like that being called. I understand why it's a penalty, but you have to have some common sense when calling this.
And if I understand some of this stuff, it was put in to legislate around like certain things that were being gimmicked back in the day. Maybe the new offsides is just was an attack on the tush push, and that's where the focus is coming from. But here's the problem with all of this, Chiefs fans, is that this was Kadarius Toney.
I know,
not knowing where to line up. And if you know,
he's got to be the dumbest guy in the NFL, and that's saying
Sean.
something.
Did I not predict all of this? Did I not predict? People did not believe. They thought he was going to go to Kansas City. Even the start of the career, so good, big important part in the Super Bowl. And no, he's an idiot. He can't pay attention. I'm going to read you his snap per game. 16. Remember, start the season and he fucking shit all over himself, cost him the game against the Lions.
I've never seen a receiver cost a team two separate games. This is worse than Nelson Aguilar.
In 16 snaps, he fucked him out of a win there. 19 snaps in week 2, then down to 2 snaps. They figured it. 17 snaps, 25 snaps. They're starting to trust him. 30 snaps, bam. Little bit of a down trap. 13, 12, 7 injury. Comes back week 11, 22, 0. And then guess how many snaps he played in this game that he just cost them?
It's got to be like 12.
Oh, exactly 12. Amazing. Amazing.
He's barely in and he still figures out way to kill.
Actually, that might've been last week. He might've played less snaps this week. I mean, you should, being a whiny baby like that is just, you're just validating everyone that hates you. I can already predict it, Sean. I don't think you're going to be in the office when it happens. I'll try to capture it with a camera. Colby is going to be so fucking happy to talk about whiny ass Patrick Mahomes.
So, and this is the other thing, like, dude, you're Patrick Mahomes. You've won.
We thought
you won multiple MVPs. You're considered, like one of the greats already early on in your career. For you to go and complain about the refs in a game where you guys left a lot of points on the board, you turned the ball over. I mean, instead of bitching about that Kadarius Toney offsides, be like, be the leader and stand up and go, whatever. The refs make some calls. We got to deal with it. But after that play, we had opportunities to get the first down. We didn't. That's on us. We got to be better. We're moving on to next week. And if you want to bitch to your wife, to Taylor Swift at dinner, whatever, sure, vent. But as a leader, when you get up behind that microphone, you have to lead. Yeah, it's easy to make excuses and bitch and be a whiny baby, but come on, dude. Like, you're supposed to be Patrick Mahomes. The idea is you're fucking awesome. You're paid the most in the NFL. Why? Because you're the best player. It shouldn't have to come down to the refs in a 3-point game at home, right? Like, I somewhat agree with him on like, yeah, they shouldn't call it. They should let that go. But also, the bigger point is don't go out there and whine like a baby.
Well, I think part of the argument,
you don't want to sound like Bills fans, like, oh, hey, the refs, no one likes that.
I think the macro of, like, hey, the way that you would lead through this type of change is you would highlight that we need to really take a look at the volume of penalties being called. We don't necessarily talk about any of the specifics. Yeah. So maybe you get a tiny bit of like, oh, you're complaining, but really you're calling out in national television, like, hey, there's this real problem here. Now, you totally can feel like you got screwed here, just like Florida State. But at the end of the day, you also chose to employ Kadarius Toney. And Sean,
but also you have 4 games left. You have to worry about that. Like the league's not going to go back and fix that game, right?
I know, but like the guy was traded from the Giants because he didn't know where to get lined
No,
up.
He's dumb. You're playing with fire.
He did.
You thought, hey, we don't need to pay Tyreek Hill. We can find these random athletic guys and plug them in, and it'll be the same.
We also felt bad for Mahomes because we thought his wife was crazy and his brother was this like attention whore. Little did we know. Little did we know that Mahomes had a little whiny bitch in him.
This was a bad look. I'd never seen Andy Reid was on similar stuff. I'd never seen that out of Andy Reid.
Also, I heard that he said that he thought Zay Flowers' touchdown celebration was cute. No way Lamar would have gotten down with any of this bitching. That's a joke for a few.
So Chiefs lose. Bills get the cover, and
Bills are back. They're not broken anymore.
I don't know. I mean,
McDermott apologized about him using terrorist groups as a way to team build.
Yeah, I mean, Bills took down the Chiefs like those great heroes took down the Twin Towers, according to Sean McDermott in his poorly titled teamwork speech, where he was using the 9/11 terrorists. They were all working together for one common goal.
This is how you know football guys are fucking dumb. This is how
Does
you know.
Does he not run that by anyone? Does he not run that by anyone?
Football coaches are the dumbest people. Period. Whether it's Mike McCarthy walking into many men, or Sean McDermott referencing terrorist groups as a positive thing in a team building activity. It's just, they're all idiots.
They are. Cowboys win 33-13. Feel like we've hit on this game enough.
So what? All right. So you're not, even if closing what's the? I'm sure you have the schedule memorized now.
Yep.
Read it off to me. What's the Eagles? What's the confidence level of the Eagles getting the division?
Well, they got to win out. So, I mean, they'll be favorites in their 4 remaining games. Now, we'll see how they do. I think maybe getting that extra day to prepare and rest before they go into Seattle. And Seattle's not an easy place to get a W. I mean, the Seattle team has serious flaws, but
no, this is not the matchup you want right now.
I don't know. I mean, they'll be favorites going into that game. Can they win that game? Certainly. Should they? Certainly. Will they? Yeah, that's yet to be determined. I mean, they lost back-to-back games. This is a great bounce back opportunity for them. 49ers have lost 3 games in a row. I don't think there's really one great team so far in the NFL. Like, you could say the 49ers are certainly playing great right now, and you would probably give them the number 1 spot in your power rankings, but they've also had flawed moments throughout the season. So no one's really so far this season had a clean sheet in any way.
Yeah, and specifically in the NFC, it's hard to say this, I know, Sean, but it's as much as it is the Niners, the Cowboys are playing with a certain level of confidence also. That is, maybe they just like those sweet videos where you see a car like smash into a concrete wall at 300 miles an hour. And it might turn into that, but right now, the team that should be favored to win the NFC, I think might have to be the Cowboys.
See, I disagree with that because their path to get the number 1 seed is still kind of tough.
Maybe they're taking care,
and they got destroyed by the 49ers and their schedule. Ryan, I don't know. I don't think you're looking at their schedule. Like they have to.
I'm not saying 1 seed. I'm saying win the conference.
Right, and I don't know if they can go into. I mean, so you like their chances of going into San Francisco and beating the 49ers?
I think with how a lot of all the other top teams in the NFC have question marks around their defense. I think the Cowboys have the fewest question marks on the defensive side of the ball. And if you're projecting these games to be, offensive shootouts, they can also do that kind of football right now. So
they go. I mean, this is going to be a great test for them because they got at Bills, at Dolphins, 2 back-to-back road games against 2 teams in the AFC. That, well, one, you're playing a desperate Bills team at home. That's going to be a tough spot, and then you're playing a Dolphins team, which is not easy at all as well. So yeah, if they go 2-0 in those 2 games, yeah, I'll reassess where I'm at with the Cowboys.
No, it sucks. It really sucks. I hope I can only hope for a Tony Romo fumbles the extra point level of.
No,
collapse.
Dak would never blow it in a big game, right?
Maybe it won't be Dak. Who knows?
Someone pointed out we have 102 live people watching, only 24 thumbs up.
Guys, come on.
This is embarrassing. I'm gonna retire my streaming license, Ryan. This is bullshit.
That's it. Are you gonna walk off camera?
I'm gonna walk off camera. Before I do that, shout out to Hall of Fame Bets. Sign up with Hall of Fame Bets and their revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have some value. Just go to HOFBets.com, use the promo code SGPN, get 50% off your first bet. Again, putting together a parlay, you need Hall of Fame bets, and also just good for single player props as well. HOFBets.com or download the Hall of Fame Bets app. Use the promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month Hall of Fame bets. Kramer, we got our player props, parlays. What do you like here for the Monday night slate? I'll let you start.
Yeah, I thought I would bring some heat from both games just to create some diversity. I'll start with the down south game. I feel like every time we're talking about the Dolphins, or I'm looking at the Dolphins from the prop market, I try to get cute, and certainly taking Tyreek Hill in some of the touchdown markets is absolutely bonkers. But
what is his anytime touchdown price?
Minus 360.
Just to score a touchdown? That's crazy.
And everything, his first touchdowns plus 360. His anytime is like minus 200. It's like McCaffrey range.
Yeah.
His yardage props are in the 105, 107 range. So I wanted to get in on it. The Tennessee Titans are just dreadful defending the deep everywhere in the field. So this is the tailor-made matchup. I think the way I'm going to do it is just give me the longest reception. I can already see it. He's just running down the field. He's throwing up his peace sign. And that's that. Bing, bang, boom, little 60-yarder. It's 30.5 yards, which is quite big number. But I couldn't pull the trigger on the over 106.5 or whatever it is. So give me Tyreek Hill over 30.5 yards for his longest reception. I think he's going to go yard. That's also, I tried to build some same game parlays around his alt stuff, and you can't correlate enough stuff to get anything near even like a 3-1, Sean. It's ridiculous.
For me, I'm going to go Jayden Reed. I'm going to go to the Packers Giants game. Jayden Reed over 40.5 receiving yards. Giants aren't great against the slot receiver.
How's the slot?
Christian Watson is out. I think it's almost just like they have to throw the ball to someone. Jayden Reed, I think, is going to get a ton of volume. So Jayden Reed over 40.5 receiving yards. Lock it up for me in the prop market.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Not the way I would have attacked the Giants defense. Saquon Barkley.
How would you have attacked it, Ryan?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers, it's really, you want to attack that number one guy. You've seen Deonte Banks get kind of tossed at the release a lot by elite release guys. I don't really see that on the Packers. I see Christian Watson would have been a scary guy.
Yeah.
Not there.
Yep.
And so, yeah, Reed's interesting, but I don't think they're going to, I think whoever they're going to have run the vertical stuff will be the problem. So if it's Reed, it's Reed, but I don't know. I'm actually not like, I guess what I'm saying is I've grown to be a little bit more confident in the Giants defensive
You're very
backfield
confident.
this week. I don't know if I would attack. I would probably look to attack him on the ground, running back, rushing yards, something
But
like
who's
that.
running for them?
I might look to play Jordan Love rushing yards. I think Wink's going to send a lot of shit at Jordan Love. He's going to have some rushing lanes. I think both teams in general are deficient stopping the run. I think there's a chance that both, I mean, A'Shaun Robinson and Dexter Lawrence are both questionable. That's like 2/3 of the competent run defense in the middle of the defensive line. So I would definitely watch that. And on the other side, Green Bay is horrible stopping the run as well. Looking at adjusted line yards, looking at rush DVOA, all bottom 10 in the league. Barkley's rush prop is 69.5 yards. He hasn't been getting getting it done. He hasn't been getting the workload, but they've also had the offensive line problems and everything else. One dimensional. Tommy DeVito now in his fourth start. Offensive line for the first time all season, back-to-back games, same set of guys out there playing the same positions. So, but big game from Barkley against the bad defense, 69.5 rushing yards over.
Yeah. I that makes sense.
That's a low number for Barkley. I mean, he's down in the range of guys like, who did we play last week? That was 61.5 yards. I'm blanking on who it was. Anyway, I'll throw it out there. I'll pull it up.
Tommy DeVito himself.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm taking over 16.5 rushing yards for Tommy DeVito. He hasn't run the past couple games that much, but this is different. This is Monday Night Football. He's got a food brand to promote. He's gonna need some attention.
You think he's distracted?
No. But I think he's a desperate man, and desperate quarterbacks run. Also, Packers 5th in the league in rush yards allowed to the quarterback. I actually think this ends up being a decent spot for Tommy DeVito. Over 16.5. He can get it on one run. So yeah, give me DeVito rush yards.
Oh yeah, no, I don't hate the angle. I think both teams are susceptible to the quarterback running a little bit. All right, let's talk about a quarterback, Jordan Love. Sean, why is Jordan Love getting all this respect where they're dangling his interception prop at +110? Have you looked at his game log? Oh, he's been clean for a couple games. Against the Chargers, really? Chargers not very good. At Detroit, this version of that defense has not been very good. And then the Chiefs. Okay, that's a good spot. I don't know. I don't know about this +110 price. This is a very this is paying high respect. Even Mr. Decker came into the office today, Sean. What did he say? I blinked my eyes and Jordan Love 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Well, there's still 10 interceptions, Sean. He's still in the hunt for the interception lead this year. So
look out.
+110's wrong. You probably want to also do the trick where you same game it with the defensive touchdown for the Giants to get it extra juicy. But give me Jordan Love to throw a pick +110. I think the Giants defense is going to have a nice game. That's my prediction. That's my macro prediction for Monday Night Football, Sean. Dolphins offense, Giants defense. Best 2 units on Monday night.
It's a bold prediction, Ryan.
Thank you.
It's a bold prediction.
All right, that's 3 for me.
So your bold prediction, you said Dolphins have a great offense. I'm going to look towards man by the name of Devin Achane. Maybe I'm biased because we have him on our fantasy team, but I'm going to take over 75.5 rushing and receiving yards. Mostert looks like, is Mostert playing?
Mostert's playing.
Okay.
He's a little, he's banged up. He's been banged up. If you look at the snap counts from last week, granted there was a lot of time there where they had a big lead. Achane out there more than double the time. So that's kind of it does seem like Achane's ready to take more of the workload.
Yeah, and you mentioned that big lead. If the Dolphins get up, they've shown that even with the big lead, they'll keep Achane out there. They're not going to play Mostert if they have any sort of lead, and they don't mind playing Achane. Like even in a blowout, like even in that 70-point game, Achane was there like till the end. Even against the Commanders last week,
wanted to get 4 touchdowns for each of them.
Yeah, even in that Commanders game, he was in there to the very end. And Jeffrey Simmons is out for the Titans. Like that is a guy you need in there to defend against a guy like Achane to clog the lineup. And they've been using Achane more and more in the passing game. So I'll take 75.5. I think he could actually get loose here. Receiving yards, I think is kind of interesting. But rushing yards as well. So I like the combined here. Give me over 75.5 for Devin Achane.
I'd probably play all of them.
What do you mean? Oh, like over receiving, over rushing.
Yeah, I'd wheel it. Yeah. Because they always make you pay a tax for combining them together. All right, nice work, Sean. Do you have any ladders?
I do. I mean, I'm gonna stick with it here. My ladder is Devin Achane receiving yards. It's hard to find any sort of like fun overs in that Miami game on the passing side, where there's any sort of like reasonable value. But I think Achane could be the one. What his ladder starts at 38 receiving yards. Very reasonable for Achane. What do you think that pays, Ryan? First rung of the ladder.
-110.
Ryan, you'd be incorrect. As that pays +190.
Wow. Look at you.
He's had 2 30-yard receiving games, including last game. So him getting to 38, very reasonable. And that's why I like taking rookies or guys like this, because there's a small sample size. So like Devin Achane, he's played what? He has 6 games. So we've never seen a 70-yard receiving game out of him, but I've watched that guy and he seems like a guy who has 70 receiving yards in him. You go to 48, you're at plus 390, 58 plus 710, 68 yards. That's 70-yard receiving game for a receiver or a running back in this game. Explosive is plus 1265.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's only ever popped as a rusher right now. So like you said, turning the stone over. Got to find that worm. Sean?
Yes.
I have numerous options for the ladder. So perhaps a little bit.
Get out the stick.
Perhaps a little bit of a choose your own adventure for yourself.
What do you got?
All right. First up, if you put the Jordan Love interception with the Giants anytime, what would you guess that price is, Sean? Jordan Love interception, Giants, any defense, anytime touchdown. You just a guesstimate. You don't have to be right.
5-1.
5-1. That would be incorrect. The Giants and defensive anytime price is quite incorrect in this. Earlier in the office I said to you there's a lot of incorrect prices this week. 22-1 for that combination seems wrong. They're going to catch that and update it. So
that's your ladder?
No, that's not my ladder.
Oh, okay.
I was closing the loop on something I said earlier. I know you're looking forward so hard you didn't hear it, but it's a nice way to juice up an anytime interception bet. You parlay it up with the defense to score the touchdown. All right, ladder. So I have 3 guys. One's a tight end, the other 2 are not. What do you think? You want the tight end, or you want the more?
Is the tight end Daniel Bellinger?
It is.
Okay.
I don't want to take something that you're going to use.
No. Go for it.
Well, the Packers are pretty bad against the tight end.
Yeah.
There are not. I have another guy we're going to talk about later. They don't have other tight end ladders available for the Giants, but Daniel Bellinger, 15 yards or more is minus 110. 25 is plus 140. 35 is plus 250. 45 is plus 550. Sean, 55 yards, 11-1, and 65 yards is 25-1. This is a Packers team. They're 26th DVOA against the tight end, which again, you look at some of these teams. The reason Sean was on Tanner Hudson today was, well, they're just dreadful against the tight end. So I went that's the other angle is you can go against this Packers defense defending the deep shot, and the obvious one is Jalen Hyatt. 70-1, Sean, or sorry, 70 yards is 8-1. I'll just give you the top of that ladder because that's the only real way to play it. So, but yeah, the Bellinger ladder. I mean, this is a guy who he's going to be part of the offense. He's going to be out there blocking. He's not had much of any real target games. 3 has been his max, but in 3 of the last 4, he's seen 3 targets, 38, 34, and 43 yards. So that would get us 3 rungs up the rat ladder. We're hitting a plus 250. And you just need another couple catches against this bad defense. Again,
yes, sir.
Big takeaways from this week: Packers defense bad.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm with you on the Bellinger stuff. In fact, perfect transition to the first touchdown market. We'll start with Green Bay at the Giants. Cody Bellinger, 25-1 for the starting tight end.
Daniel. Cody's the baseball player.
Daniel Bellinger, 25-1. I've had a couple cocktails.
That's a good
like
angle.
that. Tommy DeVito, 25-1.
Also a good angle.
Come on.
They
just blast that Sopranos theme. Little QB sneak. And I'm going to go back to our boy Josiah DeGuara, because as you know, I think DeGuara is still ahead of Sims. Sims is 25-1. Now Sims stole DeGuara's first touchdown last week. But he's 25-1. There's no value there. 45-1 for DeGuara, I think, is still interesting. Tucker Kraft is like 11-1. No value there. DeGuara, the tight end for the Packers, He, according to them, is still the second string tight end. But you look at the pricing of the market; they have Sims as the second price because he got the first touchdown last week. This could be where DeGuara squeezes in. So I'll take DeGuara 45-1. Kramer.
All right. I'm gonna play. So the system spit out quarterbacks and defenses.
Okay.
So Jordan Love, Tommy DeVito. Jordan Love's 20-1. Tommy DeVito 25-1. Packers defense 25-1. Giants defense 40-1. And I mentioned earlier that I had a long list written down, but I mentioned earlier that Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, like someone's going to be like they're going to have opportunities to beat this defense deep. They've been taking the shots. Whoever is on the end of them, it's been Hyatt mostly, but it could be Slayton. They're interesting. Both those guys are 20-1. But like I said, defenses and quarterbacks is the system. But then I scrolled to the very bottom and I said, "Oh, what is this?" It's 2023. It's December. We're week 14. We rarely see any sort of international options when we're talking first touchdowns. And what do I see? Lawrence Cager, a man who plays. Darren Waller will not be back this week. He'll be back next week against the Saints. Lawrence Cager runs that role. The Packers are not good defending the tight ends. They're going to work some shit in for Cager. He's plus 11000 Sean in the first touchdown market. That's 110-1. He's 25-1 in the anytime, Sean. Again, this is a team that's bad against the tight end. Lawrence Cager is out there getting snaps. He knows where to get lined up, unlike Kadarius Toney. So yeah, I mean, I think you gotta. I think everyone has to play. He played 25% of the snaps last week.
Really?
I think everyone has to play this 110-1, Sean.
That's
or maybe,
crazy.
Maybe you want to put $4 on a 25-1 anytime.
All right.
Change your night. Anyway.
Nice way to start out the evening. All right. So other game for me, Titans at the Dolphins. Tajay Spears first touchdown 35-1. With all the questions surrounding Derrick Henry, he's got some moments where he's been banged up. Tajay Spears, super athletic guy. Maybe he breaks one. I mean, 35-1 is pretty crazy for a guy who gets carries, right?
Yeah.
And then Kyle Phillips, of course, has some sort of connection with Will Levis. It's 60-1, kind of bonkers. Like you said, like all the legit
like
Dolphins side.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, there's nothing there that's interesting.
Do you have it in front of you? We should almost read off. So hold on, I'll pull it up. This is out of control. All right, Tyreek Hill is plus 380 now. Devin Achane plus 550. Mostert plus 650. Waddle plus 700. Then it drops down to Durham Smythe at 19-1. And Sean,
Durham Smythe, and
you are deep.
Had a touchdown.
We're all deep in the streets here. Julian Hill. If you ask an average person who watches every game on Sunday, they might not know who Julian Hill is. Plays tight end for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
he's 20-1.
That's
Dolphins
insane.
special team. I skipped over Derrick Henry. So basically Derrick Henry plus 850 and then D Hop 22-1. The Dolphin stuff is ridiculous. You can't play it. You have to, if you're playing a Dolphin to score first, you got to be single shot.
Yeah. For me, it's just 2 at 22-1. Other than that, there's nothing else that's very interesting.
I do think the Titans are tremendously bad against the receivers. And I do think that Mike McDaniel will overthink this one. So I thought, all right, let me smash the two guys that are out there getting snaps and running routes when it matters. Give me River Craycraft. Give me Cedric Wilson. There's a chance that both of those guys would be in out there for inside the 40 type plays. The Titans give up deep plays to everyone. So maybe one of those guys randomly catches a deep pass. Craycraft is 30-1. Cedric Wilson, I probably like a little bit better at 38-1. And then we got D Hop. D Hop has a great matchup. I do think he's going to win. If it is,
what's his price?
22-1.
Yeah.
And I think Chig, again, Miami not good against the tight end. Chig at 28-1 is a great price. Also playing that as well. I like my Miami Tennessee card is very nice. Very nice. I expect a winner to come out of it.
For me, hashtag Degens only parlay before we get out of here.
Degens only.
Keep it simple. Daniel Bellinger, 2 touchdowns, 90-1.
Yeah.
They're not great against the tight end.
Yeah.
He's the starting tight end.
Yeah, you should almost just put that with the Giants to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's have some meatballs. Tommy DeVito goes for 250. Jalen Hyatt over 70. It's 25-1. Simple. They can beat this defense deep, and if you want to spice it up, you can juice it up to plus 250 by adding in Darius Slayton to also get 70 yards. They're gonna have opportunities. I do think that one thing I love about this Tommy DeVito motherfucker, I don't like that he takes a sack 1 out of every 4 snaps. That's not good. 1 out of 4 dropbacks, he's getting sacked, but he throws the ball down the field. So fuck it.
Take some deep shots.
Let it fly.
Let it fly, Ryan, and of course, let it ride. Thank you, everyone, tuning in to the Sports Gambling Podcast. If you enjoyed my misery, toss me and the podcast a 5-star review. Help cheer me up.
I'm gonna get shit for not making you feel more miserable.
What do you mean? I was throwing things. I was ranting and raving.
I think people are gonna be upset that you didn't feel more misery.
Okay.
People really feel like you've been super confident this year, and that maybe your use of "we" should be to walk and go look in a mirror and take some responsibility for these losses.
Yeah, we played a horrible 2 games. We're still 10-3, Ryan.
Again, not me. Some are saying, many are saying. Couple guys in my DMs.
Any cowards that want to reach out, feel free. DMs are open as always.
Oh boy.
We'll be back. What are we doing tomorrow, Ryan?
We're college bowls. Yeah, we'll do some bowls, and then at some point we're gonna surprise people with a underdog playoff draft.
Yes, let's go.
Yes, sir. Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
Fucking Cowboys.
Kramer, let it ride.